day. This is it looks like a cowboy hat, but it's kind of got a pink band on it, so it probably is a hat that a woman would wear most of the time. But if you were desperate and you needed shade from the hot sun, you'd wear it. And I'm inside, but as I said, I wear a different hat every day. This is what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to move it closer, let you see it. Can you see that thing? That's what you'd call a spatula. And I guess the way it's made, you could mix up some eggs. It would maybe work like a whisk if you really wanted it to. It's just a turner. It'll turn pancakes, eggs, turn your bacon over with it. And this may, you say, what in the world? Why are we talking about that? Well, because I got up this morning and this thing, I had just washed it yesterday and put it away, put it in with all the other kitchen tools in a little container there on the counter, and this thing was laying in the sink. And I looked at what my wife Wendy was doing, and I didn't think she was using this kind of a tool. And so I asked her about it, and she said it was dirty. And she pointed on the little corner of it, and there was a little hardened thing that looked like where sausage had been cooked. And I was surprised, because I try to be better than that. You see, we have a deal. My wife and I, we have a deal. She cooks. She does the cooking in the kitchen, fixes some great meals. And after she gets done cooking, then my part of the work is to do the dishes. I wash the pots and pans and the plates and cups and bowls and the silverware, and when I get down to the bottom of what's left of silverware, sometimes I wash it first, sometimes I wash it last. But whatever I do, every piece, I wash every piece separate. I don't grab 3 or 4 and kind of rinse and just shake them in the water and rinse them off and hope they're clean, because if you do that, they're not really clean. And I pride myself in doing a good job of washing the dishes. And you may say, what? You're a man. What's a man doing washing dishes? Well, there's only one mention of someone doing a dish in the Bible, and it says, as a man wipeth a dish. And so God's Word says a man. And so sometimes if you think, well, that's not a job I should be doing. Well, if it's work and you help around the house, it's anyone. It's everyone's job. Oh, there are times when once in a while I've cooked. I can't say it's been as good as Wendy's. And there have been times that she's washed the dishes. But that's the trade-off. She cooks, and I do the dishes. She cooks, and I do the dishes. And once in a while, if we've had a great big meal, she might put all the dishes in the dishwasher. And she recognizes, wow, I have really dirtied a lot of pots and pans and everything. And I think sometimes she has mercy on me in a sense. She says, instead of him having to do all these dishes, let's just put them in the dishwasher. I don't use the dishwasher, but she does once in a while. I don't mind washing the dishes. And so this morning, when I saw that there was a little dirt on the end of this little spatula, I thought, wow, I can do better than that. The last thing I want is to pick my fork up, getting ready to eat, and I look at my fork and it's dirty. There's old egg residue on it and all hard. That just kind of does something to my appetite. Or if I get my bowl out to have cereal, the last thing I want is to look and what is that in the bowl? That's old dried cottage cheese. I don't like that. And so I really try to do a very, very, very good job at doing the dishes. And you say, well, what does God have to say about that? Remember, God has something to say about everything. Well, in one verse in Colossians 3:23, here's what God says. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart. And another spot he says, so whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God. And so those 2 verses tell me, whatever I'm doing, work really hard at it. Do the best I can. And also while I'm working, I need to have the attitude that I'm doing it for you, God. So, boys and girls, teenagers, if it's been your job during this lockdown where we're avoiding the coronavirus and trying to avoid other people, and we're staying at home and there's no school, and you've been given the job, maybe you've been given the job to wash the dishes. Do the very best job you can. Treat it like God has asked you to do the dishes. If God asked you to do the dishes, would you get an attitude? I hope not. Would you do less than your best? I hope not. If your mom looks at you, your dad says, hey, I want you to go out and sweep the garage out. I hope you don't stomp out there and do it half-heartedly. I hope you really go out there and say, I got to do a really good job. Whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to do the best I can. Or if they say to you, I think you need to go in and pick your room up, clean your room up. Don't just go in there and sit in the middle of your bed and look around. Some of you probably can't even see the floor. There's so many clothes, things on the floor. You've forgotten what color carpet is in your room. Well, don't sit in the middle of your bed and, it's just too much. No, remember that verse says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart. Work. Work isn't a bad word. Work is a good word. It's a 4-letter word, but it's a good word. W-O-R-K. Work. If you got to go outside and help mow, or you got to go out and pull weeds, work at it. If you got to go out and pick up rocks, whatever you got to do, work at it. And do the very best you can. So, have a good day working. And remember, I got to do my very, very best. As if God asked me to do this job.